human. That's what makes you genuine, and that's what makes you authentic. They've lived their life, and there's nothing to be ashamed of. When she said, kids in my high school can look me up and find my history, she's owning her life. That's her story. How many of us are willing to tell our story in front of a group of people? How many of us are willing to do it over and over and over again? You know who usually does it? The people in recovery. And we should respect that, and we should honor that. And not only should we respect and honor that, but we should encourage that, not just with people in recovery, but within ourselves. People who are volunteering, people who are helping. This epidemic has done one thing. It has brought people together to talk about their honesty. You'll hear about grief. You'll hear about people that have stood up and faced their addictions, faced their demons, and now tell that story. This has forced us for the first time to be honest about all these issues. And when you walk away from here today, that's what you need to think about, is that this always involves someone's mother, father, brother, sister, son, or daughter. And if we can be vulnerable, if we can encourage that vulnerability in them, then we can find solutions because we're no longer hiding. We can break that stigma and break that silence. There's one thing I want to end on, a program that we're getting ready to start, and I want to make sure that I get it all right. So one of the things with the system is often I hear people say that a parent or family member is an enabler. I disagree with that. And I'll give you a little quick story. I sat on this board one time, and there were two mothers that sat across from me. And one mother said, you know what, I'm just going to admit I was an enabler for my son. I didn't want him to die, so I did everything I could to make sure he didn't die. I gave him money. I went out and I helped him as much as I could. Her son died. The mother sitting next to her said, I did the exact opposite. At first I was an enabler, but then I did tough love. And I would not give him money. Actually, I'd give him gift cards, but then I found out that he was selling those gift cards for drugs. So what I would do is I would make a sandwich and bring him clothes. He ended up dying being homeless. And I realized that at that time that there is no right or wrong. So if there's no right or wrong, then what we got to be able to do is we as a community got to be able to come together and realize when we're an enabler. If those people in recovery can be honest and vulnerable, then so can we. And one of the projects we're working on with the Hamilton County Heroin Coalition, Hamilton County Office of Reentry, is we are going to bring the services to the people. Whether it's homelessness, mental health, or it's addiction, on September 27th, we're going to launch this program 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. It'll be downtown at the Justice Center in the North Building, and everybody freaks out about the Justice Center. But we did this for a reason, a couple reasons. One, it's downtown, so it's easy for people, especially if you're homeless and you're downtown. It's someplace that you know and you'll be able to walk there. It's on the bus route, so if you're outside in some of the other parts of the city, you'll be able to come to the Justice Center. The other thing, too, is people getting out of jail will be able to go right to this program. And what we're going to do is we're going to have the services there, such as Talbot House, Brightview, Urban League, St. Vincent de Paul, many services. And some of the services people will be able to get is, let me pull it up here. I want to be able to get this right. So some of the services you'll be able to get, and this will be coming out of jail, or you can come straight down there. So if you have a family member struggling, or you as a family want some help, come down there. That's what we're trying to do, is bring the service to you. You'll be able to get birth certificates, addiction services, mental health care, child support modifications, minor probation modifications. The probation department will be there. They'll be able to help you with that stuff. Housing, record sealing, expungement, health care. The health department will have the exchange van down there to be able to give services, recovery housing, and we'll be able to try to help with homelessness. And one of the things we asked all the providers to do, I know a lot of times as a family, when you're trying to get help, you'll go to a place and often they'll just give you a pamphlet. You cannot just give a pamphlet if you're a resource. You must provide some sort of resource that day. And what will happen is you'll come in, if you want help, you'll tell us what the 3 most important needs are. We'll write those down and we will walk you right to that service and get you started. We'll follow up with you later on to make sure that you're getting that service, and if for some reason you're not, we'll try to help you to get that service or another service. Part of this is we need to do more than just keep people alive. We got to keep them alive and then get them into treatment and then recovery, and not just recovery, but active long-term recovery. Whatever that recovery looks like for somebody, we got to be able to provide that service. So we, the system, are changing it. We're bringing that services to the people. We're bringing that help to the people, and hopefully you'll all be able to help spread that word. September 27th, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. It'll be, we'll do it monthly starting after October or November, December, we'll take a break. And the beginning of 2020, we'll do it every single month for the year. So please pass it on to people. And just remember this, and I'll end with this story when people always say, why should we care? Why should we have this hope? Why should we be doing this for people? And I'm not the most religious person, but there's this parable that I love, and I can't say it's necessarily religious, but it's this parable that I love, and it kind of describes what we should be doing every single day and how we should be looking at people. There's this young boy, and he's walking along the beach where thousands of starfish have washed up on the beach. He knows that if he doesn't get the starfish back in the water, they're going to die. So this young boy picks up a starfish, throws it in the ocean. Picks up another starfish, throws it in the ocean. Picks up another starfish, throws it in the ocean. There's this old man who's standing there watching this young boy do this. He can't believe he's wasting his time. He knows that this is a fruitless effort. So he comes down to the young man and says, young man, you're wasting your time. You can't save them all. Why are you doing this? The young man picks up a starfish, throws it in the ocean, looks at the old man and says, I saved that one. And that's what this is about. Not just saving one life, but remember that that person has a mother, father, sister, son, or daughter who is attached to them, who will forever grieve them. We as a community suffer when one suffers. We can never dismiss the one because there is always a family, a neighborhood, a community, and a country that's attached to it. So remember, they're human beings, humanized, and the stigma and the silence. Thank you.